Honor Magic 4 Pro Review. Excellent display, fast charging, and a powerful camera. The Honor Magic 4 Pro is an impressive phone, with premium performance, an excellent display, fast charging, and a powerful camera. But with minor issues ranging from poor portrait photos to inconsistent charging, there's a distinct lack of polish, made worse by the lack of long-term software support. It's been a year and a half since Huawei sold Honor, launching the former subsidiary as an independent organization. Although Honor has achieved plenty in that time, it's taken until now for it to globally launch what it considers to be a true flagship phone, the Magic 4 Pro. First unveiled at the Mobile World Congress trade show in Barcelona this February, the Magic 4 Pro is a premium piece of hardware that is intended to hold its own against the most expensive, non-folding, phones from Samsung, Google, and Xiaomi. For the most part, it does. Truly powerful cameras, a great display, and excellent charging speeds make this one of the most impressive flagships around, all at a price that just undercuts a few key competitors. A lack of polish shines through though. Inconsistent results with third-party chargers, fiddly software, the clunky design, and while these will be minor flaws to most, they feel more like deal-breakers on a phone that costs close to $1,000. Like many high-end Android phones, this thing is big. With a 6.81 inches display, this is similar in scale to the Pixel 6 Pro or Galaxy S22 Ultra, and at 9.2 mm it's actually slightly thicker than either of those, though weighs around the same, 215 grams. This is not the phone for you if you prefer smaller handsets, or even if you regularly use your phone one-handed. The scale of it demands both hands for anything more than quickly checking an email or replying to a text. My bigger issue is simply with the obnoxiously large camera on the phone's back. The circular design here is what Honor calls the Eye of Muse, and I can't say I'm a fan. How to make an enormous multi-camera module look good is a challenge tripping up the best in the industry right now. Even Apple and Google can't crack it. But Honor's solution is a particular eyesore, to my tastes at least. You may also want to use a case because unlike most rivals, Honor doesn't make any claim to have used Gorilla Glass to protect the phone's display or rear from cracks and scratches, so it may be a little more vulnerable to drops than most. There is however an IP68 rating, guaranteeing top-tier protection from dust and water. There's much more to it than that though. It's not only curved at the sides, but quad-curved, meaning the top and bottom edges are rounded too. The effect is more subtle here though, so much so that you may not notice it at all, especially with the pre-applied screen protector on, and is less about wrapping the visuals round the body and more about smoothing the edges while you swipe. The display's other tech specs are impressive. A high, though not quite QHD resolution of 1312 x 2848, a max refresh rate of 120 Hz, and LTPO tech that allows the phone to scale that responsiveness down as low as 1 Hz to save power. The peak brightness of 1000 nits is lower than some rivals, but I've had no problems at all using the phone even in direct, bright sunlight, well, as much of that as the UK can muster at least. It's also bright enough to run the phone's included HDR10 Plus support. There's certainly nothing to complain about when it comes to the Honor Magic 4 Pro's performance. The phone is powered by the flagship Snapdragon 8 General 1 chipset, paired in my review unit with 8GB of RAM and 256GB storage, though in some markets the phone goes up to 12GB RAM and 512GB storage. Whether it's in benchmarks or real-life use, performance is excellent. Outside of dedicated gaming phones with extra RAM or the new overclocked 8 Plus Gen 1 chip, you essentially won't find any faster Android phones than this in 2022, with the performance margins between flagships pretty marginal. The 8 General 1 also brings with it impressive networking. 5G is here of course, along with Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.2, NFC, and ultra-wideband. As for biometrics, there's a reliable ultrasonic fingerprint sensor under the display, and face unlock from the selfie cameras. This will be more secure than in most Android phones thanks to that extra depth sensor, the trade-off you get for the big pill cut out. Despite the enormous circular rear module studded with sensors, the Magic 4 Pro really only has a triple rear camera, a 50MP main camera, a 50MP ultrawide, and a 64MP periscopic zoom. The main camera is, as you'd expect, the best. Details are excellent, and thanks to the fairly large 1/1.56 inches sensor and f1.8 aperture light capture impresses too. Dynamic range is superb, and colors are vibrant but remain true to life. The ultrawide drops ever so slightly. With its own 50MP sensor the details are still strong, but the smaller sensor and tighter aperture mean that dynamic range suffers. In fact, I've noticed a tendency for this camera to overexpose scenes and pump up the brightness, perhaps a result of Honor's software overcompensating for the sensor's dimmer direct capture.